about the state budget? Because that was, you had that floor too, if you so chose. We just
Oh.
put it on there in case you wanted to,
Sure.
in case you had an update
Well,
for us.
I'm going to be testifying this Thursday. I got a call from our state representative, Nikki Antonio. I had asked if should an opportunity present itself, I'd like to go down and tell the Lakewood story. And in fact, this legislature is not particularly interested in hearing from folks like us, me, and so we're testifying in front of the Agricultural Committee.
Very
because
powerful committee, though,
because they're willing to listen to local government impact, so they got a wedge in the door. So at 10 a.m. on Thursday, I'll be telling our story. Actually, I'll be polishing that up. As soon as I polish it up, I'll send it to you in terms of what the testimony is. And we've got I think I have less than 5 minutes to make the case. But our story is in some cases unique. But on the other hand, there's a very compelling dimension of the amount of shared services that we have engaged in, which is a key element of Governor Kasich's strategy. His expectation is that we go out and do all kinds of things. And in fact, Lakewood has a long history of those kinds of experiences, whether it's in public safety or human services or in other collaborative arrangements in terms of procurement issues. So the thing that concerns me most is the expectation that there are other elements of significant savings that we have not thought of or tried, and I'm concerned that in fact there are not. And you know that I'm on a record saying that our expectation is it's about a $1.6 million local government fund cut. About less than $386,000 will be in 2011. The remainder, $1.2 million in 2012, an additional $1.2 million, plus roughly $200,000 in cat tax reductions. And you add it all up, that's $1.8 million there. Schools are facing similar restrictions and reductions. It's a massive amount. And the other concern that I hope to vocalize is it's one thing to make these cuts, but another one to impose them in such a rapid implementation period, and with an understanding that the benefits that they're theoretically are being offered through incentives for shared services and collective bargaining adjustments, in Lakewood's case, wouldn't be forthcoming until probably 2013 or beyond. So the timing of the help versus the reductions is off by a year. And that's our challenge then, to figure out how we're going to close that big of a gap. We've begun conversations with all the employees of City Hall. I did send a letter out. You should have gotten a copy. I'm meeting with all the departments. I met with some police and human services. I'm meeting with another police group on Wednesday morning at 6:45. I think we've got 2 sessions planned next week. One this week.
One this week,
and one next week with all the City Hall employees to discuss the implications of these cuts and what we need to do. And we're laying out a strategy in the letter in terms of beginning to do some training between now and July, when we do understand what the costs are more surely, and prepare for a fairly vigorous 6 months at the end of this year to offer some solutions of cost reductions for you for our 2012 budget. So we're taking this very seriously. We're going to try and lobby for a better outcome. The other variable that's unclear to us is what our own revenues are going to be. They could be higher than we've budgeted. They could be lower. We'll know clearly by two dates, roughly after April 15th, Income Tax Day, and roughly after mid-July, Property Tax Day. So by the end of July, we'll have a clarity of what the state budget's strategy is, what our revenues are, and what the difference between the two is, and therefore what adjustments will be necessary. And we're not going to sit between now and July doing nothing. We're going to prepare for what we think is the probable news and hope for a better outcome. But be ready. So it's a vigorous engagement. The directors are talking about it every week. We've got some ideas, but it's not going to be easy.